182 games, 147 goals. Borough's 6th top scorer. It's Slaven Live. Message, call or WhatsApp. Have your say. 0330 043 2002. It's Slaven Live with the Dovecot. Spend your evening in the best bar in Teesside.
Well, welcome to the Reds. If you want to get involved, 0330 043 2002. Get involved. You can get us on Facebook. You can get us everywhere and anywhere. The team on Saturday, if you don't know, I don't know where you've been. You might have been on holiday. You may have been, I don't know where you've been. But anyway, the team against Blackburn, there was one change after the last few results, good results. Van der Berg had to step down. He was injured. It was Deng, Engel, Jones, Aileen Clark McNair, McGree, Houston, Foz, O'Brien and Lath. And on the bench was Glover, Beleza, Gilbert, Dick Steele, young Sonny Finch came in, Silvera, Azaz, Greenwood and Thomas. Reflecting on Saturday's game, I'll be honest, it was an uninspiring performance. Two average teams in display. In the last third, both teams were powder puff. And then it wasn't a game for the purists or the connoisseurs, let's put it like that. It was a disappointing game. Some people were saying to me it was actually boring. I don't think I was quite as bored, but when you look at the game yesterday, I mean, we're talking about a different level, but you're talking Man United, Liverpool. Dear me, that was one of the FA Cup was alive and well. I'd written the FA Cup off years ago when Man United first walked out many years ago. I thought it's the end of that. Crowds diminished. The big boys were putting out shadow teams, but that was the real deal yesterday. It was amazing. So reflecting on Riverside, it was nothing like that. But we got a point, and that's what credit where it's due. That's 4 games, 3 wins, a draw, and 3 games without conceding a goal. So well done to the lads for that. But the home form, you're talking 19 home games. Now, home is where you rope fans in, where you want to sell season tickets, when you want to do the business and get as many as you can packing into the Riverside. 8 wins in 19 games. That's a poor return. Why are we so bad at home? I don't know the answer. Possibly some of the lads aren't used to. I mean, we started the season off, we get beat the first couple of games, and then we had a wee lift, and then we dipped again. It's been turbulent, especially at home. But I think some of the modern players aren't used to boos, and there was a few groans on Saturday. I wouldn't exactly say boos, but there was a few groans. But over the weeks, or the last 5-6 weeks, there has been certainly boos at the Riverside, and that's something that some of these players have never experienced. They're the first boos I've heard since Michael Carrick came in. But yeah, we're into that national break. We're sitting 10th in the league. Have we a chance of getting in top 6? I've never thought we'd have had a chance. I think Saturday just rubber stamps that we're not good enough. We're too inconsistent. We don't score enough. I mean, up front is still a problem. And we've brought it on ourselves. You know, Latty Laugh, very fast, very direct, 110% effort. He's got a poor first touch. He cannot progress with the ball, and the team can't progress if he's not holding up. So that is an issue. That is a problem. I would say for £5 million, you should have a decent first touch. And Latty Laugh, unfortunately, not got it. He's too rash. He's cumbersome at times. As I say, the flip side is he's very quick. But he's not. He doesn't look ruthless. Somebody says the other week, well, Akpom, everybody criticised him. Yeah, I was one of them. I didn't think Akpom was good enough. But what he did have was a good first touch. He just wasn't very good at putting the ball in the net the first year and a half. Then he settled down. Carrick came in, changed the dynamics, scrapped the back 3, centre-backs, back 5, whatever you want to call it. And with Giles bombing forward and getting the balls in. And Akpom was brilliant. Scored, well, he's top league scorer in the championship. But we soon get rid of him. Cashed in. That's the club's a business, and I totally get it. He might have not did it the following season, so we cashed in, and then we got into this season, no Akpom. Then in January we let Crooks go, despite him 18 months his contract. Another goal scoring midfielder, if you like. We let Rodgers go after 6 months, who looked as if he was going to start scoring a few. Coburn's injured. Foz, everybody keeps telling me he's the best in our club. Well, I don't know where they got from. They must be going to training sessions. I've not got time to go to training sessions, but I've never seen it on a Saturday. So, yeah, sometimes I've used it before, but you reap what you sow, and if you're going to let strikers go and not bring in half decent ones or novices, apprentices instead of tradesmen, you're going to hit a bit of trouble. I mean, Queen's Park Rangers game, we scored 2. Great. Birmingham, Giles, wonder goal. But not good enough. There was chances at Birmingham. There was more chances at QPR. There was chances Saturday. There's nobody in our club that you can hang your hat on and say he'll get us a goal today. And I think it's important for the team as a whole to have that type of player, because it breeds confidence throughout. You know, if I'm defending and we've slipped in and there's a goal went against us, you're looking up front and thinking, oh, he'll get us a goal today. I'm sure Palace and Mowbray, Cooper Pattinson, Pears and Co. looked at me and thought, he's having a duff game, but do you know what? He'll get us out the mire. He'll get us the bonus money. He'll get us a goal. That's what strikers do. Strikers don't necessarily need to play well to get a goal. Good goal scorers score against in big occasions and get goals when it's not so good. You know, I've played in some duff teams, but I've still got goals for Middlesbrough. This team here have been in the top half of the table all season. The majority of the season. There's no excuses. As I say, when you let players go that's banging in goals and then you replace them with inferior players, then you're looking for trouble. And I think that's what we've got this season. We're lucky that we're more or less safe. We're not going down. But, yeah, we're very, very lucky. As I say, I'm not a gambling man. But is it a surprise, I'm asking you now, is it a surprise to continue to miss chances after Akpom, Rogers, young Kavanagh, he's another one I missed out, letting them go and not replacing them? Is it a surprise? I've got a few points here. Sonny French on the bench Saturday. Young lad, not long returned for injury. Is he going to be like young Callum Kavanagh, bang in the goals, but then get shot of him? I mean, Callum Kavanagh banged in loads of goals for the under-21s. He was given a couple of chances and then he was off. And I look at the goalkeeper, Saul Bryn, another young Borough lad, born and bred in this area. Wherever he's went on loan, he succeeded. He's done well. He's won player of the match, he's player of the season. We still not giving him a chance. I don't know who's responsible. Look at Ainsley Pears. We get rid of him. Clean sheet on Saturday against us. Did very well in a televised game a couple of weeks ago, but I think it was a cup game. You know, who's in control of these guys? I can't remember Ainsley Pears getting a great run in the team or seeing how good he was. Are you telling me Ainsley Pears is worse than Lumley that we put in goal permanently? You're joking, aren't you? That's a Philip Stamp phrase for one of the songs, isn't it, when we went to the cup final. People keep saying what's going to happen this summer. Is there going to be an exodus? I think the 4 loan players, you're talking Greenwood, O'Brien, Ayling, Thomas, I think they'll all be gone. I don't think we'll keep any of them. Big Paddy McNair's contract's up. Paddy's got the ball at his feet. We're not in control of his destiny. He can kick the ball whichever way he wants. If we keep him, I take it that he'll have to take a wage reduction, because by all accounts he's top of the pile when it comes to money. McGree doesn't look content. Been taken off the last 4 games, McGree. Still the best player we've got, in my opinion. And I personally think, I've said it, I've went on record before, I think McGree is too good for Middlesbrough. I've seen down the past many people saying, oh, he's too good for him and he's not the same wavelength. Well, McGree's in a different wavelength for a lot of our players. And looking at the quality he was playing with last season compared to this season, I can see why he's peeved off. Hackney, Van der Berg, if both of them are, if teams are looking at them, with teams looking at them, there's no doubt, and envious eyes, I'm sure that if somebody comes in with the right cash, they will go, because we're a selling club. That's not even open to debate. That's what we are. But when I look at Hop, where is he? Hop, Piero, what a waste of money those two have been. That is money down the River Tees. Disappointing. But looking at the games, eight games coming up. I'm asking you, 8 games coming up for Middlesbrough. We've got an international break, so we can sit back and just relax and enjoy the last 4 games as fans and players. How many are we going to win out of the 8? Realistically, I've got us down for 3. I hope we win 8 out of 8. If we do that, we'll be in the playoffs. But realistically, no, we've still got big games coming up. We've got Southampton when we come out of the international break. We've got Hull City, we've got Ipswich Town, we've got Leeds United, we've got Sheffield Wednesday, who a lot of people say we should beat, could beat, and should wipe the floor with. But we thought that against Rotherham, we thought it on Saturday against Blackburn. And by the way, the big lad up front, he's a handful, isn't he? What's he got, 21 goals? 21 goals, he's got more than every one of your strikers put together. Yeah, so 19 home games. We've got 8 defeats, 8 wins, 3 draws. That's not a good return. To be anywhere near the playoffs, you need to win the majority of your home games and pick up points away from home. Over the years, we've been good at home and bad away, or struggled away. This year, as I say, 8 wins is simply not good enough. But why can't we perform at home? You know, I've gave my opinion. What's your opinion? Why can't we perform at home? Same size of goal, same size of pitch. 11v11. But at home there seems to be something. I mean, this, since the turn of the year, the new year, we played 7 games, we've won 1. And that was against Norwich, against 11v10. We've never won 11v11 since the turn of the year. I say that's not my opinion, that's statistics. Statistics don't lie. Opinions is hairy-fairy. You've got an opinion, I've got an opinion. Doesn't mean I'm right and you're wrong, or you're wrong, I'm right. That's an opinion. But when it's statistics, that is what it's all about. 7 points off top 6. Good going. 7 points off the top 6. People say, oh, we've still got a chance of getting the playoffs before Saturday. I think after Saturday, people were going, do you know what? I think we'll forget about the playoffs. Let's be realists. Stop being fantasists. It's nice to be a fantasist now and again, but you need to be a realist. And we're simply not good enough. We don't score enough, not ruthless enough, don't anticipate enough. And we've been good at the back. Why have we been good at the back the last 3-4 games? In my opinion, well, the last 3, because we've went 3 centre-backs. 3 centre-backs against 1 centre-forward should be good. We're going to go to caller. Right now, Neil. Hiya, Neil. Are we there, Neil? Oh, dear. Are we there, Neil? This is the problem we have with live TV, but we're trying to get Neil. Hey, it happens in real. Just well, I'm vastly experienced. We're going to go to the ad break. And by the way, I'm going to show you a book. Where's the camera? Are we here? It's taking about 2 days to come up. Where is it? There. It's there. This book's up for grabs. Best caller or best message. I'll sign it to whoever you want, whether it's you, your missus, your grandma, your granny, your next door neighbour, your business side. You can use it as firewood. You can use it as a door stopper. If you've got a wobbly leg under your bed, you can use it there. If you want it, it's up to you what you do with it. Right, we're going to hit the ad break.
Message, call or WhatsApp 0330 043 2002. It's Slaven Live.
This is the Red.
Well, welcome back to the Red, and if you want to get involved, we're having a wee bit of trouble, but the gremlins have come in, but that happens regular. 0330 043 2002. Keep trying, you'll eventually get on, I'm sure you will. But as I've mentioned, this book, the book I did a couple of years ago, it's a picture book, so if you've got a young kid, it'd be good. And if you want to reminisce about the good old days at Erson Park, there's contract things in there. There's loads of pictures with the likes of Tony Mowbray and Pallister, and promotions against Wolves, and fines for not turning up, going to Bermuda. Well, you can find there's pictures of Brian. There's loads of pictures. It is just one instance there, a picture that deserves, if you should want to book just for that picture alone. I'm just holding up until we get a grip of it. We're selling Tony Mowbray. Does anybody know where that picture was taken? What is the ground there? What is the ground? Yeah, what is the ground? You should get that, no problem. Right, I've got a few here that I didn't read the other week. I'm going to now. 3 clean sheets in the last 4 games. This is for Joe. What's changed? Well, I mentioned it 3 minutes ago. The thing that's changed is 3 centre-backs. When you play with 3 in this division, I mean, we play one up front and one in number 10. When you play 3 at the back against 1, you're overloaded. You should be good 3 against 1. If it is 2, you still should be good 3 against 2. And and it's obviously what's in the last 3 games, 3 clean sheets. And what's it down to? It's down to 3 at the back. But it's the other end. We need to start bobbing them in. Where are we now? We're still trying to get calls on. Keep trying. We'll get there. Our home form is poor since the turn of the year. Well, I've mentioned that, Dave. Only 1 in 7. Yeah. And that was against 10 men. I've mentioned that. Start this season we lost our first 3 home games, if my memory serves me right. But 8 wins in the league. As I say, I've mentioned that. In 19. That is not a top 6 form. Far from it. Neil says, has our chances of top 6 gone? Away, Neil, come on. Be a realist. It's nice to dream, I get that, and fantasise, but it ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen. Len says, summer clear out. What do you think? Who do you think will go? I mentioned earlier, I think Hackney, Gels and Hackney and Vanderberg, sorry. If teams, and there's no doubt there'll be envy size looking at them, if they come in with the right money, we're a selling club. That's quite clear and evident. Nobody tries to disguise that. There's clarity. They will go. Let's hope they don't go. Michael Carrick will be down his knees over the summer months praying that they don't go. As I say, Big Paddy, he's I'll go to this one in a minute. Big Paddy, he's out of contract, so he's got the ball at his feet. If we offer him less money, he could head off to anywhere. He could go to the MLS, maybe end up in Saudi. He could make a boatload. I don't know. Right. Good evening, Bernie. It's for Jack. Hope you had a great weekend. Thanks for a fantastic night on Friday. We'll talk about that in a minute. I think Saturday was our first 0-0, but it's a point at home, which has been rare this season. But I think a few players had a bad game. Engel couldn't pass the ball. O'Brien, I felt he looked off. Well, he was awful Saturday. But as we say most weeks, where are the goals going to come from? Well, the goals are an issue. If you've not got goal scorers, you're not going to win a lot of games, and that's why we've not won a lot of home games. There's chances created every week, but it's either the timing or the patience or anticipation or ruthlessness or clinical. All those words have been missing. But talking about Friday night, thanks to everybody that came. We were in the Dovecot. It was above the Dovecot. The Dovecot's always mobbed. But it was above the Dovecot, and it was a lovely room. It was nice and cosy. The people that turned up, thanks for each and every one who turned up. David Waiter, I did my chat about my career briefly, and then I went on and chatted to David Waiter. And of course, I can hear you saying, did he sing? Yeah, of course he sung. What did he sing? I'm Still Standing by Elton John. How did he sound? No, very good, if I'm honest. No, he sings Frank Sinatra, by Elton John. He's multi-talented as Wheats. And he was on he had a few sherbets and a few lemonades. But he is a funny man, David Wheater. Ian James Barron says, a very good evening, everyone watching. Hope you're well and had a great weekend. The mighty Darlow won 1-0 on Saturday. Wowzers, 7 wins out of 9 games. The Great Escape is on. Steve Watson's Black and White Army. Come on, Darlow. Steve Watson, is that him that was at Newcastle? The ginger. Him that pathetically did the cartwheel doing the throw-in against Middlesbrough Erson Park one night. It was 0-0 and he ran with the ball and he did a flip as if he was in the circus and threw the ball into the box. It was a good throw, mind you. But I thought, what are you doing, son? He was only a young lad. He wasn't doing it after we beat them 3-1 that night, but he started doing it. I see that top behind you. You had changed. Leslie Coates, I tell you what, Leslie. You've got the eyes of a hawk, son. Yeah, it's Kamara. And by the way, it's no Chris Kamara. Although Chris Kamara did play with Middlesbrough on loan when I was there. Big fan of Chris. Jack Clement says, I think 13 points is the best we can hope for, getting us to 67 points, getting us 5th place, as long as no other team grabs any points. Yeah, I'm glad you put the smile on face. I was going to get the guys in the white coats to come and get you, Jack. Leslie Coates just put Newcastle. What are you on about, Newcastle?
Watson.
What?
Steve Watson.
Oh, Steve Watson, yeah. It says Newcastle. Stamford Bridge. Oh, yeah, so, yeah. You're talking about the picture in the book. No, me and Tony Mowbray. Ian James, you got it bang on, son. You should be ashamed of yourself, Leslie. We've got a Darlington fan. He's got it right. Stamford Bridge. That was after we relegated Chelsea in their own backyard. Was it 1989? Relegated them. We beat them 1-0. No, it wasn't. It was 2-0 at Essen Park. Went down there. Jury scored after 16 minutes. We held on to the bitter end. Our defence that day are Stephen Pears, Colin Cooper, Gary Pattinson, Big Pallister, Tony Mowbray, Gary Hamilton, Ripley. Amazing. It was amazing. And it was some achievement. Tony Wedley, my big mate, says, get the kit on, Wolfie. We'll be at yours at 7:30. Bah, you've got some front, Tony Wedley. Tony, you're welcome, you know that. We'll see you tonight. And Tony says, looking forward to the three legends at the Dormans. Will be an interesting night. Yeah, so Tony's triggered me to plug that. The next event for myself and the lads is the three legends. It's at the Dormans Club on May the 3rd. If you want to order tickets, it's 7.enterprises, the word 7.enterprises at hotmail.co.uk. We'll try and get a bit of footage, maybe put it on here, put it on. Malcolm McDonald, if you don't know who Malcolm is, his nickname was Super Mac. I used to be in Glasgow as a 15-year-old boy growing side bangers, and we used to call them Super Macs. And as a kid, I wasn't aware who he was. I just used to grow them. Still got a wee bit now. But it turned out it was Malcolm McDonald, who I met many years later, to find out he was a great player for Newcastle and Arsenal in England. Last player to score 5 for England. And then there's Eric Gates. Eric Gates played for won the UEFA Cup along with Alan Brazil and the Murin brothers and so on. Yeah, no mean feat. And then he went to Sunderland. And between us, we played 1,600 games, scored over 1,600 professional goals, all got capped internationally. And that's going to be an interesting night. And I keep saying it. Why? Because Malcolm and Eric have never spoken to each other since the fallout. They had a ding-dong, a verbal ding-dong, no fisticuffs. And, yeah, it's going to be a great time. Okay, when you see you showing your book, I thought you were showing the new book by Jim... What is that, Jim? What?
Platt, is it?
By Jim Platt, 19. You're joking. You can't read Platties, man. He can't write a read Platty. You're joking. Hickton, Souness Armstrong, name a few. No, come on. Let's go to Andy. Hi, Andy.
Hi, Bernie. You all right?
Hi, Andy. Oh, well, the callers are working. Come on, get your calls in, man. Stop messing about. Go on, Andy.
Well, I did. Listen, I was just looking at the players that were coming out of contract this summer, Bernie.
Yeah.
And I just wondered how many of you think of these lot you think we should keep. So start off Luke Thomas. He's the lad from Leicester, isn't he? Yeah.
There's Thomas, O'Brien, Ayling, and Greenwood.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, they're the loner ones. But there's also Paddy,
whose
Johnny
contract's
Howson,
up. Howson's contract's up.
Jamie Jones as well, the third goalie as well. I just wonder what your thoughts on would we keep any of these? For me, Howson. I think it's time to give him another year. And maybe Paddy after the way he's come in and played recently. Other than that, I just don't know. Bernie, Ayling might be a useful, standby if Dyke Steele, is not fancied or moves on. But I don't know. I'm not convinced by Luke Thomas, Lewis O'Brien or Greenwood, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it takes people time to settle. I totally get that. It took me a year to settle. People could have ripped me off, and thereafter I started to settle and loved every minute of my Borough career. But me personally, being brutally honest, I wouldn't sign any of the loans. Paddy McNair, as I say, we don't control him because he controls us now. If we want him, he can say, I want the same money, and by all accounts, excuse me, he's the highest earner at the club. I don't think the club want to part with any more money, so Paddy can kick the ball whatever way he wants. Who else did you say? Oh, Howson. Johnny Howson. I mean, Johnny's been terrific, right? Johnny's been marvellous. Now, how old is he? 35, 36? Is that building for the future?
Yeah. No, but,
I'm asking you, is that building for the future?
No, it's not, Bernie. I know what you're saying. I'm still here, Bernie.
Oh, sorry.
Can you hear me?
We've brought all these players in last summer to build for the future. Then we let Rodgers go after 6 months, so that's not exactly building for the future. And then we says we weren't get loans in, and we've got 4 in. We says we weren't going to do that because we're changing direction. So there's a bit of contradiction there. So
do you think they know what they're doing, Bernie? Because it sounds as though they don't.
No, I think, look, everybody goes out at the start of a season with ideas and plans. I mean, Jonathan Woodgate took over great intentions. First game was against Luton away. He says he was going to play pure football, attacking football. I watched it. It was amazing. Do you remember the Luton game? I think it was 3-3. First game of the season under Woodgate, and I thought, wow, this is going to be some season. And then it went on for a few games, and then the wheels come off, and then the football evaporates and doesn't quite happen, and then we change direction, then Woodgate gets sacked. And then Southgate, he had a plan, whatever. And then Warnock comes in with a plan, and his plan is blown to smithereens because the director of football's appointed. And then Wilder can't work with him either, so then his plans are blown to smithereens. Now we've got Carrick who bought into the new scheme. Last year, hunky-dory, brilliant, everything, no need to moan or groan, get on with it. We were fantastic on the eye and on the field. This season, turbulent. Carrick looked frustrated, side on. He looks uptight at times, and he can't come out openly and publicly and say what he really feels, because that's the nature of the beast. You sign a contract, you say nothing. It's a wee bit like Russia.
Well, there's a quote for the headlines tomorrow.
Yeah, that's fine. Put what you want on. I don't give a flying.
Hey, Bernie, why weren't you up doing karaoke on Friday night?
Well, do you know what?
I've seen you doing some Morrissey songs.
Do you know what? Yeah, I'm a Morrissey lover, and I love my music. And the reason I don't sing, I don't want to strangle anybody's song. I appreciate musicians. I appreciate. Wheats doesn't care who he murders, what song he murders. I've got more about me than Wheats, you know what I mean? I don't want to kill the song, for people that enjoy things. But, yeah, sing it in the bath, in the shower. But publicly, no. I did a play, Steel and Iron, in Middlesbrough Town Hall this year. And last year I did it at the Riverside outside in a big marquee. And everybody sang because they were all true artists, stroke actors and actresses. And I was asked, do I want to invest in it? But no, I just concentrated on my lines, let them get on with it. I enjoyed it. They were too good for me. I was garbage. So that's the truth of it. Just talking about, you're obviously a Borough lad, Saul Bryn and young Kavanagh. Those two kids never got a chance at Middlesbrough. And yet the young lads in the future, but Saul Bryn has been moved I don't know how many times. I believe he's still a Middlesbrough goalkeeper, but he's never going to get a chance. And Kavanagh's gone for good. How disappointing is that?
Yeah, we've always had a tradition, haven't we, from building from our own academies, from the Borough kids, and we've had real success with that, over the years. And I was particularly disappointed with the Cav decision because what have we been crying out for the last 18 months? A striker, since Akpom went, and we've been relying on Coburn. Who's been in and out of the team injured. Is he good enough? Lath, is he good enough? And why not put these kids in? Why not just go and have a couple of games? Go and have a run. Go and show what you can do. Because those kids must be desperate, Bernie.
So why didn't we? This is the thing I would like to ask the people at the club that's making these decisions. Why did you let young Kavanagh go? I don't know how good a bad young Kavanagh is. I know his father played with his father. He was a great midfielder, tough tackling, scored a few rakers, could defend, could pass a ball. His son, I don't know. I heard he was centre forward. I looked at his tally score, banging him in for fun with the 21s, and yet brief appearances here and there. One at Port Vale, I remember, and then he's gone. Why couldn't we have held on to him until the end of the season and give him a bash to see if he can show us what he's got? But we didn't. Maybe we're frightened for him to blossom.
I'd love to ask that question as well, Bernie. But you know what? I don't think we'll give an answer back from him over that.
Oh no, they don't have to answer, but I'd like to ask them some straight questions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think it's difficult, and we're seeing Sol Bryn as well. He's doing well.
Sol Bryn's did well wherever he's went, and yet nobody at Middlesbrough. We've had some poor goalkeepers. I mentioned Lumley. There's one or two others, and this guy Bryn's getting rave reviews, but didn't he get a sniff? And neither did Ainsley Pears.
Yeah, I mean, someone's sitting there going, "Hang on, Matthew Hoppe, let's buy him whatever they paid for him. Let's get him in." And not play any of not play Cav. The money they spent on Hoppe, what a waste of money he's been.
Who's that?
Matthew Hoppe, is it?
Oh, Hoppe, I think he's hopped off. Yeah. He hopped off 2 years ago. It's a joke.
Yeah, he's still around, yeah.
Yeah, I know, but it's a joke. And Piero was the biggest waste of money, and that was under the new regime, with the new ideas with the director of football. That's one of his signings.
Yeah,
but just swept under the carpet as if it never happened. It did happen.
It just worries me, And I was listening to McLaren the other week on Andy Campbell's show,
right?
And what Gibbo said to him very early on was, I want this team to be in the heart of the community. I want young players to come from the town. I want to bring our own through, and I want to develop them and celebrate them. And they'll move on and make us money. But it was all about that local mentality. Now I know you can't have all local lads.
No.
I think we did, didn't we? At some point, we did.
We actually 10. I think it was 10 out of the 11 against Fulham last day of the season under Steve McLaren. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, Steve McLaren had nothing to lose that day. He'd already been out in the open that he's going to England. He thought, to hell with it, we're not going down there up there. He'd just play the kids.
Yeah.
But he holds a record for that.
Yeah, and that's brilliant, But where's that gone? Where has our academy gone? Where has the investment in our local kids gone?
Well, the academy, Hackney came through recently. We've had Ben Gibson through. We've had Stewie Downing. We've had a host of others. We've Adam Johnston. We had young Robbie Stockdale, Baker. We've been littered with players. Andy Campbell. But we've never produced a centre forward. Andy Campbell, but that if Andy's listening, I'm not being disrespectful. But there was 3 guys that we'd paid millions and millions of pounds for, so his chances were limited. I'm talking about somebody that's come into the fold, played year in year out, scored goals. We've never had one, never developed one. And the academy has seen when we're bringing players for Australia and America and places like that who are all 19, 21, 22. That's an indication the academy's not working. They can see what they like. Yeah, you don't go and spend money for these guys abroad who are unknowns, who we don't know for Adam, and put them in the team and put them in a squad. That tells me it's not working.
Are you telling me that we haven't got, down-ins and Hackney's the only one of late, hasn't he, that's come through the system?
Yeah, and he's going to make us a few quid, I'm sure of that.
Yeah, he will, absolutely. But is there no raw talent in Middlesbrough? I'm sure that's in Teesside in the area. I'm sure that's rubbish. I'm sure there are kids out there who have been scouted, who have been looked after, and all that sort of stuff that goes on. But why aren't they coming through? Why aren't they investing in our youth again? What?
I'm sure. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure they're trying, but it's not happening. I'm sure they're trying. They're trying their damnedest, but for whatever reason, it's not happening. By
bringing kids in from other countries. Like you say, that's a failure of the system, them doing that.
Yeah, but I'm being honest now. I don't know the academy if there's many Borough lads in. There may be half a dozen there. There may be 10. I don't know. So I can't write them off and say they're not there. There might be Borough lads born and bred in this area, North East or whatever, who play for Middlesbrough Academy who I don't know. So I don't want to write that off. They could come back and come back and bite us in the backside. So I don't know. There might be Borough lads there, but they're not progressing.
Yeah, no, they're not. They're not coming through. And I predict this summer there'll be a massive upheaval at the club. I know they're talking about all this money that we've got from Rodgers and.
Hold on, who's telling you about all this money? Do you think they're going to spend it? We're going to spend it.
Well,
you're another fantasist.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to spend it all, no. But what I do think is there'll be a big upheaval. There'll be a lot of players moved on. The loan players won't stay, and we'll end up like, and I know Sunderland have been up and down, but we'll end up like a Sunderland where you've just got young kids with very little experience in there, and another mediocre to mid-table.
But as I say, for me, in the modern game, this is part of the problem. Most teams employ a coach. The coach is not in control. Who comes, who goes, who's sold. There's guys getting sold for under the coach's nose all over the country. For me, that's not healthy. That is not healthy. That's no. Hey, they can point out and say, Brighton Hove Albion have done it. Yeah, they have, but whoever their scout is unbelievable. He's bringing in absolute diamonds. We're bringing in zirconiums at the minute. I might never know even polish. For those that don't know zirconiums, tell them what it is. You know what I mean? So, I get what the club's trying to do. I totally get it. But what I'll say in return is, I get what you're trying to do, but when it's not happening, and it's not happened this year, are you going to change tack again? And have fans got the patience?
No,
obviously they've not. They've not.
No, they haven't. And I think, at this time when we see people, Borough fans digging deep in their pockets to invest in this club, because they we as fans, we've got ambition. We're not seeing that ambition matched by the club.
Look, if there's 8 wins at home, if I bought a season ticket, and listen, I'm not discouraging or encouraging, it's a personal call. But if we've only won 8 games in 19, and I've bought a season ticket, I'm peeved off big time. I'm not seeing enough. I've seen some boring games. I've seen some great games. I've seen some terrible games. We're better than that. And somebody says to me over the weekend, by the way, he said if Warner or Wilder put in a shift like that the last couple of games, Birmingham in this game, they'd be getting hammered. They're probably right.
Yeah.
I know Michael Carrick's DNA wants to play football the proper way. We've seen what he's all about, but he's not got the quality to reenact it and do it like he did last year. And that's not down to him.
Yeah, Bernie, you said something there, though, that I can't agree with. You said that we're better than that. We're not better than that. Actually, where we're at, we're about right. We're an up and down team. We're inconsistent. We have little runs here and there, little positive runs, negative runs. We are where we deserve to be.
Listen, I agree with that. I say you reap what you sow, and this is where we are.
Yeah.
What we've done over the season. The biggest farce for me, Rodgers, I get cashing in, but 6 month, age 21, we could have held on to him at the end of the season, might have got another 5 million on top of what we got. But we didn't take any chances. We thought, no, get rid of him. The Crooks one was a farce. That's a joke. Please a family, I don't know how many, he's got 4 or 5 over a 25,000 season ticket or whatever family. I don't get that. That was ridiculous. And young Kavanagh, we didn't even see him. It's as if I don't bring you in as a scout, I don't really want you to blossom because you might embarrass me with the guys I've brought in, so you're off. And I think that happens in the game. If I'm not one of the guys that's been cherry picked with the talent spotters and I blossom, they're not getting any praise or credit. And I do believe that goes on in the game. Listen, we're going to hit the break. Thanks for your call. I'm going to read this before we go to the break.
Lovely to talk to you, Bernie.
Cheers. I definitely keep Paddy. Well, Paddy, it's up to Paddy if he wants to stay. I know the ball's at his coat, Bernie, yet, but he's all for the Borough. He has. I'd be devastated if we lose Johnny Howson. He still do a job for us in the league, regardless of his age. If Howson doesn't get a contract, I'll be gutted. Again, if you're looking for the younger generation to progress our team and build for the future, Johnny Howson, I'm afraid, is not part of the future. I'm a fan of Johnny Howson's. I still think he's got another year or two. But if it's not here, I'm sure he'll go to another championship side. He's still good enough for this level. Anyway, we're hitting the break. Was that Trevor, was it? Was that Trevor? Trevor. Clever Trevor. Who sang that? Ian Dury and the Blockheads. I know more about, I'm sure you've already established, I know more about music than I do football. Anyway, give us a call, 0330 043 2002. Give us a phone. Come on, I'm waiting.
382 games, 147 goals. Borough's 6th top scorer. It's Slaven Live.
This is the Bird.
Well, we're back. I almost dozed off there. No, I was just having a drink of water. Just bear with me a minute. Very dry in this studio. The summer's come in, the light nights are coming in. Where are we here? Anything in your book? So we're going back to the book. I tell you what, one at you, James. You've had a couple of good questions. Anything in your book about your time at Darlow back in the day, memories when you scored your 200th league goal at Fulham for Darlow. I was there, thanks. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. I'll be honest, I got a decanter type thing. It was my 200th career goal. It wasn't league goal, it was 200 career goal. But I'll be honest, at Darlow, we were having such a bad time. I had about 7 goals to get my 200th, 7 games left. And honestly, I was thinking, I might not get this here. But thankfully I did, and I got it at Fulham. I'll tell you who was in charge at the time, Jimmy Hill. Remember Jimmy Hill? He was in charge of that at the time. I think Andy's talking a lot of sense. We are where we are, or we should be. We are a worse team than we were last year, and probably the same next year. Oh, without a shadow of a doubt, we had a shadow of the team that we were last year. But without a shadow of a doubt. Mate, I'm going to. Are we going anywhere? No.
Yeah, you've got.
This big long one.
Andrew. Yeah.
Andrew, talking about the academy and bringing players in. Look at Van der Berg. He's played around 52 games, 28, 24 for us. He's 19. Coburn is 21 and been injured, and he's been written off by some fans. Talk about keepers. Ainsley Pears played 24 games. Yeah, but 24. Is that enough? How many did Lumley play? He played the whole season. He was garbage. Couldn't catch the cold for us. And Warner didn't want to play him. How do you know that? How do you know that? And he wanted regular games. Fans criticised Pears. We have had Jones tumble through the academy and fans criticise. So can understand loaning Bryn out for more games time. He's been out for 2 years and he won't be back. And who's that? Hemming, who is another good junkie. I don't know anything about him. Bryn has played over 90 games now. First choice keeper on loan. He's 23. Hemming has played. Listen, we're talking about goalkeepers. Where's the other forwards here? I understand Kavanagh also wanted regular football. We weren't prepared to give him it. How do you know? Who's giving you this info? He did well under 21, but on loan for Newport and Harrogate. He struggled. Yeah, he did. But Hackney also struggled at Scunthorpe. And it was only Leo putting him in. Andrew. What a load of baloney. You seem to know a lot that's going on at the football club. There was nothing about strikers, was there? We're going to go to caller Neil. Hi, Neil. Neil. Are we there, Neil? I know you're there, Neil. Nah, sorry. Calls keep dropping off. It's the Gremlins. No Gary Hamlin's the team now. Bernard, he was a Borough legend. Tough as old boots. He was. Pears, Parky, Cooper, Mowbray, Pally, Bernie Stevens, Glover, Kerr, and the likes. Bring back them days. Legend, remember. Yeah, Matt Buck, I nearly says that word. He doesn't mind being called that, but people will be offended. I definitely keep Paddy, I've mentioned that. It's Trevor Chavo, you cheeky monkey, Bernie. Clever Trevor. Trevor, I respect everybody's opinion. Don't have to agree with it, but I respect. I respect you, of course. I know you link in after every Borough game and here. So, Trevor, you've got your opinions and you do know a lot what you're talking about, but some I don't agree with. And this thing about players want to go and get game time, well, I'm sure McGree didn't like it when he was out the team this season when he was fit. I'm sure McGree's not like getting taken off the last 4 games. So when he puts a transfer in the summer, if he does, then don't hold it against him. Just say, well, he wanted away. We've got this thing now, players want away, we let them go. We'll end up with a 5-a-side team. The majority of players that don't play at the minute won't want to be here. If I wasn't playing every week, I'd want away. And if I couldn't get in this team, when am I going to get into a Middlesbrough team? There's a question for you. If I am confident within myself and my ability, and I'm on the bench or in the stand watching this team week in, week out over the course of this season, and I can't break in, should I be happy? It's an indication that if I can't get this team, I'm simply not good enough. I've got a few here, text or somebody else phoning, but I don't know if we can get them. Maybe we can, maybe we can't, but we're going to find out. Hello? Hello?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Hallelujah! Oh, mate, I've been talking to myself all night. Go on, give us your.
How's things going anyway, Bernie? All right, mate.
Great.
Sorry about. Listen, I just want to clarify because I was listening, and you said there was a message from Neil said something about getting in the playoffs. Well, just to tell you, that definitely wasn't me, right? I have got me marbles right. You
I
know
thought
what
you
I mean?
were called
There's
Fagan.
no way we're getting in the playoffs.
I thought you were called Fagan.
Yeah?
Is it Neil?
Neil.
Oh, Neil, right. Aye, Neil. Come on, Neil. Go on.
Listen, mate, all I wanted to do, Benny, talk to you about, right, is, you know, like, listen, we had a canny team last year.
Great
right?
team last year. Best football I've seen for 30 years.
Yeah, and then we got rid of people. Obviously, we got rid of them. Some of them all moved on, some loan players, etc. And obviously, at the start of the season, we didn't have the right calibre of player to be looking at a team that were going to challenge for the playoffs or to get promotion, right? Now, by all accounts, look, if you look at our team at the moment, like, we're going to have to get rid of some, aren't we? You know what I mean? There's some people going to be going out the door at the end of the season.
Oh, without a doubt.
Listen, like, I'm a Borough fan at the end of the day, right? But, blooming heck, man, we're going to have to spend a fortune to have a chance of getting promotion or getting in the playoffs. Because if we're getting rid of everybody, who are we going to bring in?
Well, last year.
That's my question.
Yeah, well, last year.
I can't see us for at least another 2 to 3 years doing anything, Bernie, if we stay like we are at this moment in time, which is basically buying these, excuse my French, buying these nobodies in and basically moulding them into better players and then getting some decent money for them. But that's not helping us as a club. We basically had a great player in Rodgers. We got him up there. We basically then goes and sells him like we do with Chuba as well. 15, 20 million. What's all that about? 15, 20 million buys you, like, look, let's be truthful about it. If you want decent players now, you're looking at 80 to 90 million pounds worth of money. 15 to 20 million pound buys you, no disrespect, it buys you the Barnsley centre forward.
Well, the thing is, you say nobodies. We brought players in, nobodies. I would say novices. And by the way, I was a nobody when I came, 25 grand. Nobody had heard of me in England. I hadn't heard of Middlesbrough, let alone the team. But when you bring them in...
you banged 147 goals in though, Benny, didn't you? You know what I mean? You showed us all what it was about.
Yeah, but that's one player. We brought 12 in... No, we brought 12 in and built last year, last close season, and we let 14 go. Now, that's quite a turnaround. And our hope is that those 12 players settle in this year and then they blossom next year. That's next season. That's the thinking behind it. I get the thinking, but the realistic thing is the 12 ain't all going to hit the ground and all going to blossom and set the header alight. There might be half a dozen of them thrown by the wayside. Gone. So we're going to start the same transition this season. This summer. We get into the summer, we're going to get again novices, apprentices, and we're going to try and mould them into good players and diamonds and then sell them. That's I get what the club's trying to do, but I personally don't think we're good enough for it to work. I don't think the fans in Middlesbrough have got the patience, well, they've not, they've booed recently, to watch it and let these guys blossom. I don't think it's going to happen. I think we'll change tack again. I get what the club's trying to do totally. Steve Gibson cannot keep blowing millions of pounds, and I keep saying donkeys, and by God, we've had some donkeys. There must come a time he pulls it.
We're the only team that...
Go on.
We're the only team, Barry. We've been bringing in centre forwards, top class strikers, and we've turned them into bloody central defenders. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we've had some average centre forwards, to say the least. We all know who they are, well documented. We've had some great ones, but they've been few and far between. There've been more donkeys in, and I don't know who's been responsible over the years for bringing them in. I mean, Jordan Rhodes, 10 million quid. Jordan Rhodes, I could have saved the club 10 million. He was the size of me, the height of me. He wasn't ferocious. He wasn't swashbuckling centre forward who's going to be aggressive. He was a footballer. He needed somebody up alongside him. But somebody at the club thought, I'll tell you what, we'll throw him to Karanka. And by the way, Karanka never signed him. No chance. He was never going to work. So that was 10 million. Then we brought Alves. We better bring in Elvis. 12 million quid. Another 12 million down the Swanee or the River Tees. People rave about Macaroni. I had somebody on Saturday try to convince me that Macaroni was a great player. No, he wasn't. He was a great striker. No, he wasn't. Count his goals. See how many goals he scored. Cost 8 million quid.
No,
it's the hype over the semi-final header. Brilliant header. Got us to the final. I get that. But, hey, don't be clouded. As I say, and Bernie, and that's my point exactly, is like, look,
the reality of it is, right, we aren't like, where are we going to get players from to be able to be in a position? We're not a Leicester, we're not a Watford, we're not all these teams. You know, who's coming down? Is it going to be Forest? Is it going to be Burnley? Burnley are going to come down? Are they going to come and spank everybody's backsides again in the Championship? We're in a position, you know, people have got to realise that, you know, true Borough fans realise we are where we are, and we're in a position where we're in a position. Listen, I don't want to get rid of Stevie Gibson out like that.
No, of course not.
I can't see any, like, the next couple of years. I can't see us doing anything, Bernie, if I'm being truthfully honest. I can see us basically, you know, just doing exactly the same next year, being there or thereabouts, getting on maybe a couple of good cup runs like we've done. But we're just not consistent enough, and that's down to, like you said, because we've got apprentices in the team or novices in the team.
Yeah, novices, apprentices. You need tradesmen, and unfortunately, if you don't spend the money, you don't get tradesmen. You get young kids who need to ply their trade. And I keep saying, as the fans got the patience. Well, listen, the last couple of months, I don't think they have. Listen, we're going to move on because finally we've got callers on. We've got Luke. Hiya, Luke.
Hi, Bernie.
Right, Luke.
It was just a quick one. You've probably answered this a million times already, but in terms of inconsistency, because we've seen it quite a lot throughout the season in terms of we'll go on a winning streak and then, you know, like we saw on Saturday, we still got the points, so technically we're still, you know, far unbeaten in a sense. But in terms of inconsistencies, you've obviously probably been through it in your career. How did the, you know, the teams you've been with come out of that?
Good management, boosting confidence, stroking egos, dropping players.
Would you say bringing in players is a big one?
Bringing in players and not letting the star players go, yeah. What happens, right? If I'm McGree, I think McGree's the best footballer at the club. In my opinion, he is the best. When I first seen him, when he first came in, after a month or two, I thought, left pegger, great work ethic, can beat a man, drop the shoulder, score a worldie, can create things. He was the guy. I thought, he's the man. And your question was what? I've just been thrown off there. Go. So we was talking about McGree. Why was I talking about McGree?
In terms of inconsistencies.
It's gone.
In terms of like results, if we look, let's look until like next season, for example, this summer.
Yeah, sorry. So McGree's he's top player last season. So then you flick it to this season, and he's looking about going, hold on a minute, I'm an international class player. I've played in the World Cup stage. Last season I was blessed. I had Gills bombing up the left, up the middle. I had Archer, Ramsey, Akpom, loaded with skill and pace and creativity and goals. And then he looks this season, we've let in as many goals as we've scored. We don't score anywhere near enough. There's not enough good footballers in the team. So Carrick's not succeeding. And letting players go is obscene in January when you don't really know where we're going. We could have been in the mire. We could be getting relegated. We could be well in course. I think we're out of it. But we could have been in course for that. And yet we gamble and say, let Rodgers go, let young Kavanagh go a goal scorer, let Crooksy go because his family wants to go. We're looking for trouble. We're gambling. Right. I don't gamble. And I think that was a big gamble and it could have quite easily backfired.
Yeah. And in terms of like when you're looking forward to next season, obviously the summer's going to be a big window. What would you say at the minute we need as a team in terms of maybe to break the inconsistencies? I know that's
well. If I was Michael Carrick, I'd want one promise. Once the wheeling and dealing with everybody who all puts a hand in the old pot. Once you come up with the ideas, who's coming, who's going, let it settle, and just promise me one thing: don't sell in January. Don't let anybody go in January, no matter what tags on them. I get it's a business, I get that, but you've done it to me last season. Don't do it this season. You know, if we're up there, let us know in advance that, hey, we're going to bypass the January window and not upset the apple cart. Because if I'm a player in that team and you're selling players round about me, like McGree, going back McGree, that was the question, I'd be thinking, what's going on here? Rodgers is gone. He's one of our better players. Young Cav, don't really know about Cav. Crooksy's one of the players. He's a character in the dressing room, lift morale. That is soul destroying, and that brings players down. You know, you're looking for a booster here. So listen, thanks for joining us. We're cut short now. We've run out of time. I'm sure we'll get the gremlin sorted. Do not worry for next week. Thanks for joining us. The book I'll sign it. I'll just sign it and I'll let the lads in here. There's a young lad here. Oh, hey, book winner. Here we go. Trevor Chavo. Tell you what, Trevor. I was going to say you're a lucky man. You're a very unlucky man. You'll win the book and I'll sign it to Trevor and you'll get it. Thanks for joining us on The Red. Back next Monday between 6 and 7. I'm not going to say keep the faith and all that crap. Up the Borough.
Tumbling down in the city that we love. Grey clouds all over the hills, bringing darkness from above. But if you close your eyes,